Okay, so I figure we'll do some functions with returns as well. I'll probably do another video tomorrow. We might be delayed on the schedule, but I know some people like the uh, exact date. So to right away, all I've done is the same things we've had before. We have our main method. We have these things, and then I'm gonna call the main. I can't run anything now because it'll just freak out. But um, what you can do here is in this get, like now that we have this stuff, I can just say, like, I'm gonna just say f name, um, l name is equal to, and then I'm gonna do input, enter your name. Come on. Dot split. And the cool thing is, so before we would have just said, okay, print f name, whatever. Now, if you want to return something, and by returning, it's like basically this method is more like a calculator. I know I relate a lot of things to math, but I think there's a good connection there. Or like a cashier, like you're punching in things into the till. You're now treating it like the display. So you enter in your information, you hit enter, and what it's going to do is something's going to pop back at you. So you use this word return, and whatever variables you want to return, you just write them in here. Now the trouble is when you're doing this, you have to actually um, what we say catch it somewhere. So I air quoted catch it. So here, what you have to do is first name, comma, last name. You could have done f name and l name again, but it's going to be different. Equals to get info. So instead of just writing, and like in our other methods, we just wrote like whatever the method was, and it did all the work for us. This is how you catch and call a method that returns. So this is the catching part of it, and this is the call. You have to have this because you have the return. If we had a print here, we don't add this. Because we have a return, because we have a return and no print, we have to do it here. So um, because usually you use return when you want to like use a method to do something, and then um, you want to use that information again. So this is where I was saying with the pig dice game, you could have done this exact thing: enter both players' names, and then return them, and then you could have put these to use afterwards. Um, and the same thing with the player turn, you could have returned the score that they got, and then it would have added to your main. So you could have really rejigged um, the whole pig game and any other thing we've done so far with this. Now, just to see that it's working, I'm going to do print, and here I'm going to f lowercase hello, and first name, comma, first name, last. I keep forgetting to show you guys this now that I know this is a new one to do. Now I wonder if this is going to freak out. Yeah. Just got to have a random print here. But at least we'll just see that this works. So enter your name, and that works. So it took that input, it returned it, it caught them here. So first name's here, last name's here, and then it printed it out like I wanted. Now you can do other things with it. So get age. Do the same thing here. Age is equal to int input, enter your age, and then I'm going to return age. And then here in my main, I'm going to say age equals to get age. Now you can call them anything you want. I just try to make them most logical. So here I'm getting their, you can just even call this get names, then get age. Just so then if someone else is reading this code, which you guys are, and you're not having that interaction with me one-on-one, you guys know, oh, this is literally just getting that stuff. And that's why it's really good to make sure you name things properly, especially when you can't talk to that person directly. Good learning right now. So print f you are age today and will be, and here we can do age times 3. In 3 sec. Well, age plus 10 next decade. Oof, it's gonna be too real. No. Oh, that's fine. So, just to show you here that you can even use math. So like you can use these things and do some math with them as well. So that's why we will return them, because like I was saying for the pig dice game, if you had done the player turn and it returned their score, then you could have added that to their global score in here, like your big score. Now there's a second note on there, and I guess not that I did kind of forget that I made this one one day, was that the difference between what are called local variables and what would be global variables. Everything that's only inside of these methods are local. The only way it would be global is if I put it right at the top here, and then you can use it throughout everything. So what I could have done was I could have done first name equal to blank here, and then if I had done this, I didn't actually, if I make this global, I wouldn't actually even need this return. I'm gonna do, where's that, this, and I'm actually gonna so by making this global, instead of doing a return type, what I would do is making this global means that these can be accessed inside any method no matter what. And this you'll only use for big things that can go everywhere. So here, I wouldn't even use this method anymore. This method, I'd have to, oh no, wait, I'd still have to run it. I'd still have to run it, but I wouldn't have to catch it anywhere. So if I ran this, none of values. Oh, I guess I can't do this like I thought I could. Okay, there. Down. B. Oh. Oh. Hmm. 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 Well then. That they didn't change. I think I know why. I think we had this issue last year. Oh, stop this. There. So, um, if you put them here, when you start using them in multiple methods, this is where it kind of is weird and why Python's not as great as other ones, is you have to tell it beforehand, use the global version of these two variables. It's not necessarily ideal, and that's why um, I would definitely, especially the way that we're doing it, um, just do returns if you can. If you need to use a global, limit it as much as possible, because I think last year someone who tried it had like, because it had so many things that were global, they had to have this statement in front of every method, but they had about 5 things added onto it to make them work. So returns would have been a lot uh, more useful for them. And I think I did a bad job of not showing them that.